Hello, Lions. My name is Abdulrazak Garba. I'll be taking this presentation on behalf of Group 9. We have Happy, Peace, Alert, and my humble self. This presentation will be on One Health approach. As a prerequisite for the presentation, we're required to take a picture. And this is our picture. We're able to take this picture of two young nomadic Fulani herders and their herd of cattle. In this picture, we can see the young boy there and his older brother. We can see a stagnant pool of water and some algae in it, which would serve as a breeding ground for mosquitoes and other vectors of zoonotic diseases. We also have the cattle here, which are feeding in this environment and also looking really malnourished and skinny. We also have some environmental changes like some form of erosion going on here. And all these factors interact with each other. As we can see, humans, their cattle, and their environment, and diseases of health importance can be transferred from one to the other. So please follow me as we go through the picture in more details. So this is just an overview. As I said, generally, these cattle herders struggle to get pasture for their cattle due to the urbanization that had continued happening and displaced them from their normal habitat. So they move around and they try to get pasture for their cattle. These Fulani people, just like the Maasai people in Kenya, highly depend on livestock produce. And then being in such an environment puts them and their cattle at getting a risk of getting diseases. For example, the Rift Valley fever, as we saw, there was stagnant water there, and if mosquitoes uh, breed there, they might infect the cattle, also the humans. So all the outcomes would lead to illness in the humans and the cattle, pollution of swamps, loss of cattle due to disease, loss of land, and we can see soil erosion, uh, and all that. Oh, out of all the diseases that we thought could be passed from humans to the cattle and the environment, we decided to pick bovine tuberculosis. Bovine tuberculosis is a chronic bacterial disease caused by Mycobacterium bovis, uh, which affects livestock, especially cattle, but can also be found in other wildlife such as deer and then also found in badgers. This disease can be passed on to humans from their cattle, leading to zoonotic tuberculosis that is usually similar to pulmonary tuberculosis but has a higher predilection for gastrointestinal system. The symptoms include productive cough, fever, chest pain, and loss of appetite. So these are the contributing factors interacting between humans due to population growth, urbanization, malnutrition, poverty, for the animals, cattle dynamics and migrations due to displacement from their natural habitats, and then also for the environment, we can see deforestation, cool weather, marshy areas and swampy areas, and then the environment can be contaminated from sputum, pus, and urine and feces of the cattle. As we can see here is a pictorial description of the interactions between humans, cattle, the environment, and drinking of eating of products from cattle. This is just showing us the global distribution of bovine tuberculosis and previous outbreaks. As we can see, we're able to get documentation of two outbreaks, one in South Africa in cattle, and then one also in Ireland in cattle. The World Animal Health Organization carried out a study in between 2017 to 2018, and through their World Animal Information system, they were able to conduct a study in 188 countries. And out of these 188 countries, about 82 countries reported cases of bovine tuberculosis, and they're represented here. You can see The ones in darker green, for example, in South America here, there's presence of bovine tuberculosis in animals and wildlife. Uh, and then in parts of Southern Africa and the other side. So we can see this disease has a wide distribution in the world. So what is our solution? Bovine tuberculosis is a very, very difficult condition to treat, both in humans and animals. But since the animals are usually the major reservoirs of this disease, we believe strengthening the animal health system in collaboration with stakeholders that are responsible. For example, the veterinarians, we need to uh, bring down the services of veterinary service, animal health services to the community using a community-based approach so that we can have more treatment, vaccination if possible, and education of the herd systems. That's the Fulani herders and the Maasai herders should be educated to be able to detect this disease in their livestock so as to separate the sick ones from the healthy ones. All in all, this will lead to more screening and surveillance in livestock and wildlife, and then would lead to containment, intensive testing, strict movement controls, and then we'll also obviously need partnership between the animal health sector and the human health sector, where they compare the cases and see how best to come up with solutions to treat based on successes from animals to humans. And we also need our environmentalists. The environmentalist needs to be involved so as to prevent and ensure all the swampy areas that are breeding sites for animals are cleared, and then try to limit environmental change and climate change that can all work together to lead to this disease. All in all, this will lead to improved human health and improved economy, as humans depend on cattle and livestock for productivity. The animals will have an improved health and increased productivity, and overall we'll have a safer environment. Thank you very much for listening. We would like to end this presentation talking about one advocate. Her name is Timpiama Leseni, who's from Kenya. She's a Maasai. She said she suffered from abdominal TB as a consequence of cultural traditions of drinking unpasteurized milk, and is now working to educate my community, the Maasai people, on how to fight zoonotic TB through my civil society organization, Talaku. We need more people like this that will go to the community level and try to create awareness and use the One Health approach to tackle diseases in our environment so that we have a better health outcomes for all populations worldwide. Thank you very much for listening. These are our references.